Are you curious what are my honest thoughts about Katy, Texas? Well, today we're going to be talking about just that. Hi y'all, my name is George Lacey, broker owner of Joe & Co, where my goal at Joe & Co isn't just to be your realtor, it's to be your resource. So let's go ahead and dive in on my true feelings about Katy, Texas. So yes, there are things I love about Katy and there are things I hate about Katy. And I know hate is a very passionate, heavy word, but yes, there are things I hate about Katy. Did I ever live in Katy? Oh, heck yes, I did. Did I love my life there? You know what? I really did love my life there. But once I pulled away and went back kind of to my home, I definitely saw what was better about the Spring and the Woodlands area compared to Katy. So I'm going to try to not make this a comparison between two places, but it might pop up a tiny bit, so please forgive me. So what do I love about Katy and what do I dislike about Katy? I'm gonna start with the things I don't like about Katy because those are easier to remember. So I hate with a deep, deep passion how many apartment complexes are in Katy. So if you go down Grand Parkway 99 between I-10 and, I'm blanking on the road, but there's that Fort Bend Toll Road. Between that stretch of road, which is probably only 2 miles, maybe one, I have never in my whole entire life seen more apartment complexes than you find on that stretch. And even on the other side of I-10, there are even a handful of more apartment complexes. But honestly, you cannot drive down Grand Parkway 99 in that Katy Cinco Ranch area without losing, you don't have enough fingers to count how many apartment complexes are along that road. And then you obviously can't even see the ones that are scattered throughout the community. So that's the number one thing I hate about Katy is all of the apartment complexes. And number two, to support all of this infrastructure, there's a ton of concrete. So people joke that Katy is 5 or 10 degrees hotter than the rest of Houston. And I honestly don't think it's a joke. It really is hotter in Katy because of all of the concrete. And then because of all these apartment complexes, along the highway system, there is tons of congestion during rush hour, Sunday evenings. It will blow your mind how the traffic stops when you go over this little hill coming on the, the east side of I-10, but Grand Parkway 99 to the other side. It's a ton of congestion. There aren't feeders going all the way down Grand Parkway 99, and so that's a lot of the reason for the backup because it's only 2 lanes going each way and tons of people are getting on and off. What else do I not like about Katy? I personally think the restaurants are better for the most part outside of Katy. So I love the restaurants in the Woodlands, Spring, even a handful of them downtown in comparison to Katy. But I will tell you, the Asian food in Katy is the best you will ever have in your whole entire life. Hands down, the best Asian food you will ever find, all different types, is going to be in Katy. Except I haven't found amazing sushi in Katy, so I will take that one off the list. But when it comes to all different types of Asian food, that is the spot. So there's actually an Asian market, like a grocery store and marketplace in Katy, and I love going there. It's one of my favorite places to go. I try to stop there whenever I can. So another thing I do not like about Katy is the shopping. I just hate the shopping in Katy. There's an outlet mall out there, but there is not a real mall. And you have Lost and Terra with a handful of stores, but it doesn't even come close to comparing to the stores that you're going to find in Market Street. There is nothing if you know me kind of well and you see me, you know I kind of like a little bit of fancy things, and I feel like your options for fancy stuff in Katy is slim to none, which is insane because it's such a wealthy area. And so what else do I love? Or wait, we're not on the love. What else do I dislike about Katy? So this never punched me in the face, but it's technically a very affluent area in the Cinco Ranch area. And when I lived there, I was quite young, and I might not have fit in 100% perfectly well. And so that was one thing I didn't like. we're going to jump on over to what I loved about Katy. Now, I did love the proximity to Houston from Katy. Now, there was always congestion, but you cannot get into Houston without congestion, unless maybe you're coming from the Humble area. I think the congestion coming in from that direction is probably the least worst. I don't know if that's a word, but we're going to make it a word today. So I did love the proximity into Houston. Now they do have a Trader Joe's, they do have a Whole Foods, they do have a Costco. So I did love that about living in Katy. The thing I loved most about living in Katy was a walkability. Like, no joke, I was this big when I lived in Katy. I walked and biked everywhere, and that's what I miss most about Katy. So I live in the Spring area, which is south of the Woodlands, and I do not have the walkability that I had in Cinco Ranch. Like, I was so sad when I left the area because I did not have walkability. Now in the Woodlands, you are getting the best walkability in comparison to anywhere else in Houston in the Woodlands. So if you really, really want walkability, I would say the Woodlands is number 1, Katy is number 2, and Bridgeland or Town Lake would be number 3. Sugarland would be number 4. It might be number 3, but Sugarland is a really good one as well for walkability. What else do I love about Katy? The schools are really, really good. They're very competitive, and I think that's what I was trying to say underneath my negative category a second ago. But what I love about Katy is how amazing the schools are, and honestly, that's what's fueled the growth of Katy, is how great the schools are. So if you are looking for really good schools, Katy is definitely an option, should definitely be your top pick. But I think you should evaluate, does it fit the rest of your needs? Even though Katy, everyone moves to Katy and everyone says Katy is the best area ever, there are areas of Katy that aren't as nice as other areas. So I definitely recommend, when you are researching Katy and you find a house within your price point, oh, I have one more thing I hate about Katy, but when you're researching houses in your price point, I beg you to please go check the ratings of the school. Please look at the elementary school, check out the percentage of economically disadvantaged, because if you're too far on the outskirts, especially north and northeast, you might fall into really low rated schools. So please, I beg you, check that out. Now, I'm gonna throw one more thing that I dislike about Katy into the mix: the property tax rates for the new construction in Katy is very intense. It's very high. I've seen 3.3 to 3.6. I think once I even saw 3.9%. So I very much dislike how high the tax rates are, the property tax rates are in Katy. But you know what I love about Katy? I love the plethora, whatever that word is, the options of new construction. Y'all see I play with my hair when I get nervous, but I love the new construction options in Katy. There is so much room for growth, and I will complain about the highway infrastructure, but there is so much room for growth in Fort Bend County, which is where Katy is. My most favorite neighborhood is Cross Creek Ranch, which happens to fall within Fulshire. I do love Cinco Ranch. I love Fulbrook on Fulshire Creek, but Cinco Ranch is pretty much built out, but Fulbrook on Fulshire Creek and Cross Creek Ranch. And there are a handful of others. If you look in some of my most recent videos, you will see that I have done 2 or 3 driving tours in the Katy area. Katy has been very popular for me lately, mostly with new construction, but some resale. As you see on the channel, I mostly talk about the Woodlands, Spring, this side of town, so that's where I help most of my clients. But I do love Katy. Even though I told you things I loved and things I hated, I still think it's a really amazing place to live. If you are looking for some of the best schools, if you're looking for a decent commute into Houston, if you're looking to fall in love with a master plan community, that might be this area might be the area for you. So those are my 100% very, very truthful thoughts on Katy, Texas. Again, my name is Jordan Shalacy, broker owner of Joe & Co., where my goal at Joe & Co. isn't just to be your realtor, it's to be your resource. So I hope you all enjoyed this very candid and unscripted video. I love bringing these videos to y'all, and I know I haven't been doing them lately, but I also want y'all to know about all the amazing content that I'm producing over on my blog. So I have definitely been doing a lot of screen recordings lately, and I hope you don't hate me for that, but I just really, really want you to know, like, my strongest like my strong suit, or however people say that, is writing. I love so much to write. Like I probably love to write more than I like being a realtor, because that's just like my passion, my heart. I feel I'm really good at it. So I definitely, like, my job isn't to be a YouTuber. Like sitting here in front of the video camera is very painful for me. I assume you can't tell because people tell me that all the time. But my passion isn't just helping people, but I also love to write. And the idea of being able to combine the two of those, like I get so excited. Like I nerd out over analytics. Like my blog has jumped up 40%. Like month over month, I have 40% more users on my blog. So I know people are finding it through Google, but I definitely want to share it with my YouTube community. So I really hope you look at all the links down below. There's a link to schedule a call with me, and there are links for my ebooks, my relocation guide, my search website, my wishilivedhere.com website. So please check out all the amazing links and content that I've provided for you down below. And I hope you have a fantastic day. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Check out one of these videos. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye guys.